Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our English lesson. Now, we've finished with our story, our legend story about St. George, and we're going to move on. And we're going to have a little week this week about writing letters. Letters, what are letters? Maybe we'll learn what letters are today. Now, this is lesson number 1, and today we're going to be identifying features of a letter. I think first we need to understand what letters are, though. Now today, we can communicate in lots of different ways. But what does communicate mean? What does it mean to communicate? Communicate means ways that we can talk to someone both near and far away. So communication is all about maybe talking to each other, maybe lots of other reasons. It means ways that we can talk to someone both near and far away, maybe in different countries. I want you to have a little bit of time. How can you communicate with your family and friends? Now remember, we're in lockdown at the moment. How can you stay in touch with all your friends and family? What can you use to help you? Have some thinking time. Tell the person you're with, what can you use to help you stay in touch, to talk to people, both in Dubai and a long way away? What can you use? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. So let's see if you've got some of these ideas. You could talk to them. If they're in the same house as you or the same apartment building, you could talk to them. You might want to send an email. Maybe mummies and daddies might send emails. That's how I talk to some of the teachers at school. You might pick up your phone and call them. Make a phone call. You might do a video call. What video call do we do every day? Zoom. You might use Zoom or Meets, or there's lots of different video calls. You might message them on WhatsApp. That's how I stay in touch with some of my friends and family. Or you might have messenger apps like Facebook, Instagram, or your mummies and daddies can speak to me on Dojo. That's Communicator. That's how they can talk to me. So there's lots of different ways that we can communicate. But I want you to imagine we lived 200 years ago. Are you thinking? Remember, there was no electricity. Houses were made from wood. Now, in your life 200 years ago, you wanted to give a message to your friend who lived in a different city. How could you do it? You can't call them because there's no telephones. They haven't been invented. They haven't been thought of yet. You can't WhatsApp them because there's no phones. There's no internet, so you can't email them or Dojo them because computers and internet don't exist yet. There's no big phones, no house phones. What could you do? That's right, you'd have to write them a letter. So that's what we're going to be learning about this week, because people still send letters today. A letter is a written message from one person or a group to another. Letters are still sent today in many countries around the world. They might be from family members or businesses such as banks, shops, and even medical letters. When I go home, I always have to check my post that my mummy keeps for me, because I might find some doctor's letters in there or some bank statements. So there's lots of things. I go home and I have to check all my post. Have you ever seen a letter? Now, we don't have a postal service in the UAE. We have FedEx and UPS, but they don't really deliver letters, do they? Newland School sometimes sends letters home. Sometimes we give you a piece of paper, a letter to give to mummy and daddy, don't we? We say, give that to mummy and daddy. Our school trip letters. We email them, put them on Dojo, but we also give you a letter sometimes to give to mummy and daddy that tells them information. So there's lots of different reasons why people used to write letters and sometimes still do. You might write a friendly letter. That's what we're going to be doing, writing a letter to our friends. You might say a thank you letter. Dear Grandma, thank you for my birthday present. Love, Mrs. Maybe. Might be an apology letter. Dear Three Bears, I'm really sorry I broke into your house. Love, Goldilocks. It might be a postcard when you're on holiday, saying, oh wow, Mum, what a marvellous holiday I'm having. I went to the beach today and I saw this animal. Wish you were here. You might be writing a letter to try and get someone to change something. Dear Mr. David, I think the school day should be longer or shorter. And you could tell him why. You might say, Dear Mr. David, I really like... What do you really like? You might want to ask questions. Hi, how are you? Have you done this? What are you doing? You might want to give information. You might want to tell them how you are, what you've been doing. We're going to look at lots of different things like this over the next couple of days. So this week we're going to be looking at features of letters, that's today, and then we're going to be thinking about writing our own letters. Just short letters. Well, it might be long if you want them to be. So here is an example letter. Let me just move my picture out of the way. So it says, 1 Cottage, The Woods, 3rd of May 2020. To the 3 Bears, I'm sorry that I went into your house. I did not want to break the chair or eat your porridge. Can you forgive me and be friends with me? Love, from Goldilocks. Now this is an example of a letter, and we're going to look at the different parts of it. Just like we do when we look at books, we think about the different parts, the beginning, the build-up, the resolution, the ending. We're going to look at the different parts of a letter. Now there are 5 main parts of a letter. At the very top, we've got here and here, the heading. Now it can be the date, it could be the date and someone's address. Most of the time now people just write the date as the heading. Then you have the greeting. This one says, Dear boys and girls. This one says, Dear Crystal. It could be to Mr. David. Then you've got the main body. The main body. So we've had the greeting, we've had the heading, we've now got the body. What are you going to say? At the bottom, we have the closing, from your friend, love from, and then we have the signature. That's your name at the very bottom here. That's the place where we tell people who wrote the letter. Now the heading, oh, my video's in the way again. In a friendly letter, the heading has 2 parts, your address and the date. If you're writing to a really close friend like our school friends, we don't really need to include our addresses. All we need is the date so they know when we wrote it. Now the most common greeting in a letter is dear, but there's also some other ones. Dear so-and-so's name. But if you know the reader really well, because you're good friends, you might want to open the letter however you want. You might say hi, hello, hey Joe, yo Joe, hi, dude. Or could say to. So dear and to, they're the most common ones to use in the greeting. These colours will mean something as we go along later. Now the body of a friendly letter should sound like you're the one that's talking. So how you would say things is what you need to put in your letter. You can write about the things that are happening in your life. You should also show that you're interested in the other person's life. Ask questions and you'll more than likely get an answer back. So this is someone's letter. It says, Dear Joe, guess what? I'm coming to see you! Exclamation mark. My parents say we can spend a few days in Chicago on our summer vacation. I can't wait. How's your new school? Have you made any new friends? Everyone at Mr. Glidden's class really misses you. Your Tater Tot Tower record still stands. Mike tried to break it yesterday, but the tater tots fell down when he burped. Right back soon. So that was a friendly letter to someone that's moved schools. Then you have the closing. There are lots of ways to close. You might say your friend, take care, sometimes love. They're common. But you can also spell all my love, hugs and kisses, later dude, see you soon, thinking of you. And the signature is your name. If you're writing to a really close friend, you can just use your first name. I'd just write Miss Catherine. If it was someone I didn't really know, I'd probably say Miss Catherine Easthope, both my names. But we're writing friendly letters, so we're just going to use our first names. So let's label those 5 features together on the Goldilocks letter. What was this bit here called? This was the heading. Well done. Blue heading. This was the greeting. This bit here was the body. Well done. What about this here? That's right, that was the closing. And the last bit was the signature. You're right. So we've got the heading, the greeting, the body, the closing, and the signature. Sometimes actions help us, don't they? Now, your activity today is you're going to label the different parts of a letter. So you're not doing anything with letters today. You're going to have those 5 words and you're going to put them in the right place. Heading, greeting, body, closing, signature. And there should be another slide that I can show you. So I've given you the example. Then you're going to drag these words up to their answers. And then you're going to do it again for this one here. And I've done it in the colours to help you. So off you go. Have some fun learning about letters and labelling them. That's all we're doing today. Nice and simple. The main job was just to listen to me. Have fun.